Hey yo, it's Papaho. So I wanted to make a video on Falcon's jab and gentleman. I've seen a few videos online showing you how to do it, but I feel like a lot of the time there's a couple of nuanced things that that are usually glossed over. And since there are a lot of newer players playing rollback melee right now, I thought I'd make a video about gentleman because it's one of Falcon's most important tools. Side note, I don't actually fully understand what's going on with the gentleman. I just have a few methods that work for me. Even I don't get the gentleman with 100% consistency. So as far as I can tell, there are 3 ways to do the gentleman. I'll call them AA hold, AA wait, and AZZ. I'll talk about AA hold first, since it's, I find, Falcon's most reliable and easiest way to do the gentleman. And it's probably the way you'll do the gentleman most of the time. So, how you perform AA hold is press A 2 times and hold the 3rd time. And that should cancel out Falcon's rapid jabs. So you're holding holding A to the end of this animation here, where he lunges out with his knee, and kind of looks like he wants to hug you. If you let that go too early, you'll get rapid jabs, like that. So hold it all the way through, and you should be good. If you miss one of the jabs, or let's say you hit with a weak hit, sometimes your opponent falls on top of your jab and you'll get a weak hit jab. This, I find, makes the consistency a little bit less reliable, because the gentleman is so rhythm based. So you can still perform it, but it's a little bit more strict as to when you press the A button. If you hit all 3 hits, it'll always be more reliable than if you miss or get weak hits. So if you do miss both jabs, you will not be able to do AA hold. You'll always get rapid jabs, unless you do AA wait. So AA wait is performed by pressing A 2 times, and then waiting to the end of jab 2 animation. Let's try to... Waiting to the end of jab 2, and then pressing it a 3rd time. Now, I only just found out that you don't actually have to hold A using AA wait when jab 3 connects. Or I believe if all jabs connect, then you don't have to hold A. Right? It'll still cancel. But if you miss both jabs, or even if you miss one, you will have to hold. To perform AA wait, to get the gentleman. I kind of use this method as a get out jail free card, in that if I'm unsure of myself or I find myself in trouble, I'll use AA wait, just because I know that it'll work. Sometimes if I miss one of the jabs, I'm unsure of whether the gentleman will actually come out. So I'll use AA wait. AA wait. Anything else I should say about this one? Okay, now AZZ is a weird one. I don't really get why it would work or what's going on with the game's code. Frame-wise, I have no clue. But I think it's worthwhile to cover as well. So you can actually perform the gentleman just by pressing A 3 times regularly, with nothing special involved. But it seems to be pretty rhythm-based. Pretty strict. Let's try. Got 1, got 2, got 3, 4. See, it's not very reliable at all. But I found if you pressed AAZ, for whatever reason, it makes it a little bit more reliable. And then I thought, what if I press Z on the second hit as well? Oh, all of a sudden it's kind of good. Have I missed one yet? Well, there's one. And still, it doesn't seem to be as reliable as AA hold, but I think there's places where you can use AZZ and it'll be good, if not better, than AA hold. Sort of. Anyway, so because it's less reliable than AA hold, I would not generally recommend this method. Although I seem to be getting it fairly reliably here, I would generally not rely on this method. Although there is one small advantage to using AZZ, because you don't have to hold A or Z at the end of, well, you don't have to hold A at the end of your jabs to get the gentleman. You can move your thumb from A to Y just a little bit sooner. So it makes short hopping out of gentleman a little bit easier. Let me try. Right? If I'm using AA hold and then I short hop, which, I mean, it's fine. But sometimes, because I have to get there faster, I'll accidentally full hop or something, or kind of mess up the distance of my short hop. It's just a little bit harder. It's by no means impossible to use AA hold for everything and just forget about AZZ. Because there's a lot of other much harder things in Melee to perform than short hopping at a gentleman. But AZZ seems to exist, so I thought I would talk about it too. So using AZZ though, on top of its already less reliable nature, if you miss jab 1, jab 2, or jab 3, it will just never work. Wait a second, did it just work? Well, it seemed to work a couple times, but it's not very reliable at all if the first jab, second jab, or third jab misses. I seem to get it. I got it twice there. Interesting. Anywho, So one thing people might be doing is crouching your jabs and just kind of buffering C-stick down, or rather just buffering C-stick down to get the spot dodge. And sometimes what they'll do is they'll spot dodge in between jabs 1 and 2, and jab 2 will miss. If jab 2 misses, then AZZ really doesn't work very well. So that if you're using this method and they're crouch canceling and spot dodging, you're going to get rapid jabs a lot and you're going to get punished. So it's really not that great. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is it doesn't really have to do with gentlemen, but I've seen none use this technique. It's also, I think, worth talking about. Falcon's jab 1 and 2 have IASA frames. On Smashboards, the Falcon frame data page doesn't actually say that jabs 1 and 2 have IASA frames, but I'm pretty sure they do. So a fun thing you can do with Falcon against floaties, let's go to combo training, is turn around jab, and it should combo. Let's make him DI into me. It'll combo if he DIs into me, I should say. No SDI. Oops. Something like that, right? And most people aren't expecting you to jab them, let alone jab them 3 times or 4 times if you do it quickly. So it can really confuse your opponent. And at some point, you can grab after these jabs. So what you're doing is turning around during the IASA frames. Kind of like that. And that will make the jab come out quite quick because you're canceling the IASA frames. Another way you can cancel IASA frames is by crouching. So another fun thing that I like to do is jab, crouch, and just keep jabbing him. And it actually combos if he's holding in. Let me try again. I wonder how long this might combo for. Well, anyway, if they SDI, they can get out fairly easily as well. It's actually not that great, but it can catch your opponent off guard. Another reason why I like to crouch out of jab is because, let's say Fox is crouching my jabs. How do I make him crouch cancel? Anyway, just imagine he's crouch canceling, he crouches my jabs, and then he wants to down tilt me and then combo me. If I'm holding down, then he'll down tilt me, but then I can just jab him immediately out of it anyway. And then I can just go into gentleman. Right? And I see none do this quite a lot as well. You can also cancel jab 2. You can cancel, well, not really cancel gentleman, but, well, I guess you are canceling gentleman. And then imagine he down tilts, I crouch cancel, and then jab him again. Now, you might ask, oh, how are you jabbing out of crouch without down tilting? Right? Because if you're just holding down, you will down tilt. But what I found is that at 0.7 coordinates, you can crouch, and it's not quite as far down enough to get down tilt, but it's not quite as far back enough to get F tilt. There's just this nice little sweet spot at 0.7 where it allows you to crouch cancel, but at the same time doesn't register as down tilt. For whatever reason, it doesn't work crouching forward, only crouching backwards. Same thing with the other side. Oops. Right? You can do it quite quickly. Let's see how quickly I can do it. Yeah. Okay, so that's Falcon's Jab and Gentleman. I hope to see you guys use it on rollback. Thanks for watching my video. See ya. Peace.